Hi guys, what I have behind me is the Panamera Sport Turismo. Alright, so this is the Panamera Sport Turismo Turbo and it's in here, and they say this is hidden sneak peek, but I don't think it's, they even built something there. So this is purposely built to pretend that it's a sneak peek. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the car. So they invited a few media to have a look. I'm sure you have read this somewhere, you know, someone has shown the car around here. So I'm gonna let you have a good look around the car. So as we all know, the new Panamera or Cayenne, they have the base variant with the 3-liter V6, and then they have the S with the 2.9 V6, and then they have the Turbo, which is this one, with a 4-liter V8. Okay, so come to the back. So this is where it makes all the difference. From the B pillar onwards, the Sport Turismo is, of course, is different from the regular sedan, the Grand Tourer. Okay, and you don't get that crazy spoiler that comes up and splits to the side, but you get a top spoiler, which is akin to the Cayenne that I showed you guys that day I drove in Greece. All right. And you guys know I'm a wagon fan, right? But this guy here is more shooting brake than wagon. Let's show you why. Okay, this is really tight here. Let me show you why. This is where the roofline ends. If it is a wagon, a roofline should be way to the back than the wheels. You see, this is where the roofline is, right? If you draw a line down here, it's almost here. So this looks like an elongated hatchback more than a wagon. So an elongated hatchback is a shooting brake. If the roof were to come out towards that side, then only it comes down, then that will be a wagon, right? Anyway, those are technicalities. The same design themes are here. The one strip light that runs across, and then of course it has power boot. This is a Porsche. Anyway, right? You have the tonneau cover over there, huge tonneau cover. I don't know why it looks this big, and it just looks huge. Okay, enormous. Is the boot big? For the size of the car, not exactly, but you get 520 liters of space nevertheless. And you see an indicator over here. And let me show you some magic. Why not? Wow. See that? Okay. Now you have to figure that out when you check out the car. So you can see the seats fold flat, absolute flat. So when all the seats come down, it will make 1,400 liters of boot space. Okay. You don't see the rails and all that going on. I'm not sure if those are options, but maybe they are, maybe they are not. All right. Let's close it. So I believe you guys have seen one of my walk around videos about this car when I was in Finland filming the Audi S4 Avant when I was testing that car. Now, one thing I want you all to look at is this. The turbo, of course, the new generation turbos, they all have a different bumper. This one has a splitter down there. That is optional, okay? And then if you look at the hood, the bulges, that was a classic Porsche design. You know, that bulge that runs on top of the front wheel arch behind the headlamps. It is no longer as significant as previous models. They tone it down. All right. Now, one thing I want you to really look at here is something that this new Panamera has where no other car does. So it makes the car looks a lot like a concept car. Okay. Why? Because the side view here, from the profile all the way here to the shoulder lines to the window line, do you see something? It is super slippery. This is very different from all the cars out there. Most cars, right, you have a glass here, you have some rubber strip here, right? Look at the Panamera. The rubber strips are behind, so the glass stays flush all the way. Look at that. Even the B pillars, they are flush. Okay, super slippery. All the rubber, they are behind instead of in front. This is something that I haven't seen this on other cars. Okay, it makes it looks a lot like a concept car. Even the top here, you see, is super slippery. Everything stays flush. So I really like how they look into all these details when it comes to construction. Of course, this is Porsche, right? We all know Porsche has an immaculate build quality. Let's go inside. It's exactly the same as a Panamera. Okay, of course, this is the turbo, and then this was brought in as a left-hand drive car just for display, public viewing. Okay, there are some ambient lightings that runs behind the Burmester. Can you see that? That's the Burmester sound system, and then the ambient lighting is behind it, so it makes it look really good. Of course, this doesn't have that crazy design that Mercedes employs on their Burmester sound system, but one thing that I noticed that is different from this aluminum cover is that the laser drill holes are not sharp. So the finishing of this is of a higher grade than that in the Mercedes-Benz. Okay, so the whole door panels, as you expected, is a Porsche. All these are lined in leather, carbon fiber, high quality setting chrome surfaces. Even here as well. This part is hidden, mind you. When I close the door, this part is hidden, but it's in there. All right, and the buttons all here. Okay, let's move the seats to the back and come in here. This is a beautiful cabin. It feels bordering clinical, very cold, very metal glass feel, but there is a sense of high-tech spaceship feeling to it, because you see a lot of things, right? But everything is so clear-cut. This is the ref counter. Okay, screens here. This screen is dynamic. These two, they can alternate between different things. And then this screen is... Now, it might not have the most attractive UI. When you compare this UI to a BMW iDrive UI, I mean user interface, this looks like... I don't know. I can design this with PowerPoint actually if I want to. So there isn't much design going on, but it's Porsche's first try, you see. So I don't know. I mean, in terms of functionality, it's very straightforward, very easy to use. It's super easy, and the graphics are crisp. They are fast. They are very straightforward. Okay, everything is just there, and then you push them. That's that haptic feedback. You feel like you press them, they registered, you're pushed, and by audio. Okay, and then if you were to can I turn it on? Look at the aircon vents. Yes, it's on now. The center vent, I can push them. Can you see it? So if I move it up, it will go up. If I move it down, it will go down. Now you will feel that, hey, this is a stupid gimmick, like every other journalists around the world, they call it a gimmick, right? And then you see the delay. If I move it, it will go up slightly later. Why you need a delay? Because you don't want to prevent people from doing all this nonsense, and then it just register the last one. Okay, that helps to prevent the car from warranty claims and all that. Another thing that I mentioned in my Cayenne video, when I met the guy who was in charge for all the electronics in the Panamera and the Cayenne. We had a chat about this, because this electromechanical aircon vent wasn't available in the Cayenne, and then he said that a lot of Panamera customers actually don't like it, and we decided not to put it in the Cayenne. But I told him that you just add a button here. If he adds a button here, you press it, and then the button says auto oscillate. Imagine that if you press that button and then you see the aircon vent start doing all this, start moving around by itself in the car, then you sort of legitimize the reason why this was created as an electromechanical aircon vent and not just a gimmick to make people buy the car. Okay, you have some high quality switches here, exactly that I drove in Taiwan. And then these buttons, they have haptic feedbacks. So when you press it, right, you feel the thing vibrating as if it is an actual button, exactly the same as when you press the home button of your iPhone. Okay, so that's the front cabin. You see now, if I want to switch off the aircon, I have to come back here and then turn it off or something like that. Anyway, okay, look at the center storage. There's not much going on here. Cup holders, big, small, that's it. Okay. Nothing much going on around here. Let's go out and have a look. Oh. Okay, it is still a sports car, okay? The back here, you get a screen. Okay, just now I pushed that seat way back here, so I wouldn't be able to get as much room. For the first time ever, Porsche has a proper, can I call it a sedan? Because, let me turn you around. Because now you have a center seat belt. See that? You have a center seat belt. That means 3-person, 1, 2, 3, can have seat belts. Well, you know, Porsche try to make it a point that hey, it is not a 5-seater, it is a 4+1. But actually, they don't need to worry because no cars out there are 5-seaters. Be it your Camry or your Accord, your S-Class and all that. The middle seat is still the middle seat. Everyone knows if an office go out for lunch, the guy with the lowest rank will be here, will be in the middle, okay? Yeah, that's roughly how it is, right? Now, the back here, of course, this car was spec as everything in dark black, grey and all that. But is it comfortable? Yes, it is comfortable. Only in China they have the long wheelbase version of the Panamera. But here, I think the space-wise is overall is alright. It's comfortable. It is still a sports car with room for your family. At the back here, you don't get the electromechanical aircon vents likewise in the sedan version or the Grand Tourer version. Now, if I sit in the middle here, let me show you. Yep. So, if I'm sitting in the middle here, and my colleagues are seated on my left or my right, and if they wanted to adjust the air conditioning, there will be a rather embarrassing situation because their hands gonna go like here, you know, and then I have to try my best to, because this is really near the proximity between yeah, so that's how the middle seat is. But even with a panoramic roof, I still have some headroom as the middle passenger. So yes, it could, but no cars have a comfortable middle seat except cars like the Renault Scenic, the BMW Active Tourer, where they have 3 individual seats. Only those European 5-seater MPVs or people carriers have those. Other than that, be it a 5 or a 7 or an S-Class, the middle seat is always for the low-ranking stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's the car. What else you need to know about? Let me know. Okay, I can show you the engine. Come on, let me show you the engine. Yeah, time to show the engine. There we go. So this is the turbo. It has a 4-liter V8. Okay, a beautiful engine. I mean, it's been a while since I saw a nice engine cover. Okay, and actual metal plate. At least it's not one big swath of plastic. And I really like from this angle when I look at it. Right, look at this. There's 2 intakes, right? And then all the way up here, you have those thin tubes running around. It feels like vein, right? And this is like the heart of the car. Okay, this engine sounds great. It's very, very powerful, very torquey, and I think it's a good looker in terms of how they. Of course, it will never be as good looking as the Alfa Romeo Busso engine, but it's a nice 4-liter V8. So compared to the previous generation Panamera, where it's 4.8 V8, this one is only 4-liter. And of course, we all know Audi, Porsche, they all belong to the same family, but Porsche said this is their own 4-liter V8 engine, which they claim has nothing to do with the one in the RS6. But they also claim that the 3-liter single turbo and the 2.9 V6 is their own engine, but I suspect they rent it out, you know, or they lend it to Audi, because the new Audi RS5 has a 2.9 V6 and the S5 has a 3-liter V6 single turbo. Okay, so yeah, That's the Sport Turismo, and this is the walk around. And if you are interested in this car, you can just walk straight into Porsche and book it. Okay, don't ask the price because you're buying a Porsche. If you want to ask the price, there's a Lexus down the road. Okay. Yep. Cheers.